Loving, caring, and peaceful English viewers, please subscribe, like, and share my revenge tales. Your small kindness fuels justice. Now, let's begin this unforgettable story together. What do you do when colleagues treat you like a joke because you use a wheelchair? Some people would leave, some would break down. I didn't. I built a case, played the long game, and the very man who mocked me ended up losing the promotion he thought was his. That promotion went to me, and I'll never forget the look on his face when the announcement came. If you've ever been underestimated or belittled just for being yourself, this story is for you. Stick around, because the revenge was sharp, earned, and completely satisfying. And if you want more stories like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. When I first took the job, I was excited. Mid-30s, experienced, and eager for a new challenge. Yes, I use a wheelchair, but that's not a tragedy. It's just my reality. I've always been ambitious, capable, and I wasn't about to let a chair define me. The company was mid-sized, with solid projects and decent pay. The office, however, was another story. Narrow hallways, an ancient elevator that clunked with every use, and stair-heavy meeting spaces. On paper, it was accessible. In practice, it was a daily obstacle course. What bothered me more than the layout was the culture. People smiled politely and sent out diversity emails, but beneath that, there were whispers and little jokes. Snide comments disguised as humour. One colleague in particular, Darren, stood out. Loud, confident, always cracking jokes. The kind of man who could walk into a room and instantly draw attention. Everyone thought he was charming. But behind closed doors, his charm curdled into cruelty. Whenever meetings got shifted to accommodate the one accessible room, Darren would mutter, "Special treatment again." Sometimes he'd mime pushing a wheelchair when he thought I couldn't see. Once, I overheard him say to a client that I was great for optics, not much for heavy thinking. That one stung. But the moment that changed everything came at the Christmas party. The Christmas party was supposed to be light-hearted. Cheap wine, bad karaoke, paper crowns from crackers. The usual corporate cheer. I dressed sharp, ready to enjoy myself, maybe even let loose a little. Then Darren grabbed the microphone. A couple of drinks in, he decided to entertain everyone. At first, it was harmless impressions of co-workers. People laughed. Then he turned the act toward me. He mimed pushing a wheelchair, exaggerated his voice and said, "Let's reschedule everything to suit me." The room roared with laughter. My stomach dropped. I sat there, frozen, while people I worked with, people who'd seen me bust my back to deliver results, laughed at a caricature of my life. The laughter faltered when our eyes met, but Darren just winked, like I was supposed to find it funny too. I left early. In the taxi, I cried. Not because of the joke itself, but because of the silence that followed. No one defended me. Not a word. That night, I promised myself something. I wouldn't quit. I wouldn't complain. I would make sure Darren learned what real consequences felt like. In the weeks after the party, Darren doubled down. He'd dismiss my ideas in meetings, then rephrase them later as his own. He started joking about me giving accessible summaries of projects, like my contributions were somehow different from the rest. Meanwhile, he was being lined up for a promotion, regional lead. He bragged about it openly, as though the decision was already made. He said things like, "When I'm in charge, we'll cut the fluff," and his friends would chuckle. I kept my head down. But privately, I started to build. My revenge wasn't about theatrics. It was about patience, strategy, and facts. I started logging incidents. Every joke, every exclusion, every slight. Dates, times, witnesses. I screenshotted chat messages and emails where he mocked accessibility. The smoking gun was a message he sent a colleague. I'll just make them dial in by phone, saves everyone the awkwardness. I compiled reports of my projects, measurable results, time saved, revenue generated. I gathered emails from clients praising my work. Every achievement was logged, organized, undeniable. I met with HR casually, framing it around productivity and inclusivity. I ran a short workshop on accessible meeting practices. People noticed. Senior managers remembered. Slowly, I became visible in the right way. When the regional lead role opened, I submitted a polished application. Detailed achievements, measurable impact, client testimonials, even a short video presentation about my leadership style. And alongside it, I gave HR a carefully prepared dossier. Not a complaint, but evidence showing how culture impacted productivity. Interview day came. Darren swaggered in, full of confidence. He gave polished answers about efficiency and hard choices. He smiled, cracked jokes, charmed the panel. When it was my turn, I focused on facts. I spoke about team morale, client satisfaction, and measurable results. I showed how I'd increased efficiency without sacrificing people. I didn't just say I could lead. I proved I already was. The panel asked for feedback from colleagues. One brave co-worker finally spoke up about Darren's mocking behaviour. Others quietly corroborated. Combined with the evidence I'd submitted, the picture was clear. Darren wasn't a leader. He was a liability. For the first time, his confidence cracked. He tried sarcasm, charm, even a last-minute team-building initiative. It fell flat. The panel pressed him on inclusivity, and he floundered. His answers revealed exactly who he was. Someone who saw people as problems, not assets. The decision was announced in a meeting, formal and brief. My name was read as the new regional lead. The room erupted in congratulations. My inbox filled with messages. Some colleagues even admitted they'd laughed at Darren's jokes before, but now saw how wrong it was. And Darren? His face said it all. Red, stunned, furious. He cornered me afterward and hissed, "You ran a smear campaign." I looked him straight in the eye and said calmly, "I asked for a fair process. The rest was your own doing." For the first time, Darren had no comeback. His power evaporated. The same people who once laughed at his jokes now avoided his gaze. Revenge didn't come from shouting or fighting. It came from patience, preparation, and letting the truth speak louder than his lies. The best part wasn't the promotion itself. It was knowing that the workplace shifted, even just a little, toward respect. That meant more than any title ever could. So, what do you think? Was taking the promotion the ultimate revenge, or would you have gone further? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story. Because every time we shine a light on cruelty, we remind people that dignity always wins.